Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the judges. My name is Munir Shahada binti Nur Azizan and I will be presenting about my final year project entitled The Effect of Relaxation Stimuli on Working Memory Performance. Relaxation stimuli is referring to instrumental, calming music or spiritual recitation that have been used to improve mental and physical well-being. In this study, relaxation stimuli is referring to Surah Al-Mulk and classical music. The reason of choosing Surah Al-Mulk and classical music is because both stimuli can increase the effectiveness of cognitive performance and both have its unique melody and relaxing rhythm. This study had emphasized on working memory components, especially on verbal and visual working memory. Since both stimuli had their own characteristics, especially in giving relaxation toward participants, this study wants to delve deeper into whether Quranic recitation or classical music will have significant impact toward working memory performance. For problem statement, this study emphasized on methodological gap as many previous studies were focusing on comparison of relaxation stimuli on EEG readings, but there are limited studies that focusing on behavioral performance when listening to stimuli while doing the working memory task. Next, the research objective and the hypothesis are to study the differences of relaxation stimuli, which are Quranic verse condition and classical music condition, on verbal and visual working memory based on total correct recall. For conceptual framework, my IV is relaxation stimuli which consists of Quranic verse and classical music. My DV are the verbal and visual working memory. Both working memory is measured based on total correct recall. For methodology, this study used quantitative method and quasi-experiment because this experiment doesn't randomly assign the participant. The research design of this study is between subject with two dependent variables. The chosen design involved between group as there were two conditions which are Surah Al-Mulk and classical music. This study recruited 30 participants from FCSHD students and each condition has 15 participants. Both groups must complete the backward digit span task and backward quasi block tapping task. To begin the experiment, participants need to fill up their demographic information in the Google form. They were given the informed consent and the instruction paper. Then participants had to wear a headphone either listening to Surah Al-Mulk or classical music. They must do the verbal task first until reach level 10. But if they fail to get at least 15% of correct recall, they had to stop the task. Then they were given 5 minutes to rest before starting the visual task. After finish the visual task, the experiment is ended. For the result, I did the normality test and found that the p-value based on Shapiro week for hypothesis 1 is 0.143 and proceed with independent separate test. But for hypothesis 2, the p-value is less than 0.05 and proceed with Mann-Whitney U test. Then data analysis for hypothesis 1, I used the independent separate test and the mean for classical music group is higher than Surah Al-Mulk group. The p-value is 0.062 indicates that this study was failed to reject the null hypothesis. It is the same with the Mann-Whitney U test as the mean for classical music group is slightly higher than Surah Al-Mulk and the p-value is 0.305 which also failed to reject the null hypothesis. Moving on to the discussion, it was clearer that classical music group was performed higher than Surah Al-Mulk group. The similar finding from Sujik Hassan et al. Also found no significant difference. This is because both stimuli are the sedative music and both can activate the neuron to give relaxation. This result had aligned with cognitive load theory by Sweller since both relaxation stimuli can create the calming effect that lead to minimize the extra nerve load. For visual tasks, classical music also performed higher compared to Surah Al-Mulk group. This result is contradicted with previous study by Black et al. That found participants scored higher when listening to Surah compared to music. To conclude my presentation, classical music perform higher than Surah Al-Mulk, but both stimuli give relaxation on working memory performance. That's all from me. Thank you.